Good afternoon, Council. My name is Suraj Shah. I'm a third-year international relations student at the University of Calgary. I'm also the youngest licensed realtor in the city of Calgary, and I've been practicing for 2 years as a realtor. Now, let me tell you a fun fact. Each and every single property that I have sold since I started 2 years ago, each and every single property has been sold at or above list price, myself, personally. That's not a small fact. Each and every single property that I have sold has gone above list price. Now, what does this tell you? What does this indicate to you? It indicates to you that we are not just in an affordability crisis for those who are marginalized. We're not just in an affordability crisis for those who do not have the means or the capabilities. We are in an affordability crisis, a housing affordability crisis for each and every single Calgarian. The Calgarian who is working 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. We are in a crisis for that particular Calgarian. And so that is why here today I would like to advocate to City Council to say yes to each and every single one of the recommendations promoted by the Housing Affordability Task Force. And the reasons for that are simple. The first, specifically when it comes to the zoning issue, is that it is actually better for the consumer, first and foremost. Because for the consumer, it provides them a variety of options. It provides the consumer, the one who is going in to purchasing their first property, it provides them a variety of options. These options are such that it enables them to look beyond the bucks. Most of my buyers and most of my clients are purchasing between $400,000 and $600,000. And within that margin, oftentimes we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 offers on a property. And the reason for that is simple. It's because they don't have any other option. Their only options are either townhomes that are very low in supply or single-family detached homes that are also low in supply. And so the key here is to enable these individuals to have options for affordable housing around the city that they can purchase and get into. That is the first aspect. The second aspect is that by implementing some of these zoning changes, we actually benefit developers and investors within the city of Calgary. And the reason for that is simple. Developers, the only people who are building housing are not just developers. We have investors around the city, individuals who have worked their entire lives, who are putting their money into properties that they want to invest for their grandchildren. And so for these individuals, what are their options? Their options are either to build expensive infills within the inner cities or to keep their money on their own and invest in another place. And so these are the individuals that we have to incentivize. We have to incentivize these individuals to build housing within the city of Calgary, to allow them and enable them to have the opportunity to build denser housing that is not only beneficial for themselves, but also for each and every single Calgarian around them. And so that is why I would advocate to City Council to take a deep look at some of these housing affordability recommendations and realize and understand the fact that we are sitting in an affordability crisis that will not stop unless we take action now. I'm 20 years old. And with the state of the housing market that it is right now, as a real estate professional, I'm worried. I'm worried not just for myself. I'm worried for my future kids, my grandkids, my future generations. And I'm worried because I know for a fact that over the next 5, 10 years, it'll be difficult for me personally to afford a place to live. For me personally, as a real estate professional. And so that is why it is imperative for us to not only focus on now, but also for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And the last thing that I'll give to City Council is that I'm a Muslim. And one of the issues that we face, and I'm not quite sure we have touched this in the affordability recommendations, is that many Muslims are against the idea of buying places on interest. And so that leaves them in a very tight scenario where they either have the option to rent, and many of them have rented for 20, 30, 40 years and are now in a crisis because they have families and they cannot afford rent. Or the other option is to go against their faith and to purchase a property off of interest in an affordability crisis. And so it is imperative for City Council to look at some of these marginalized communities and ask yourself, what are the issues that these communities are facing and what are the steps that we can take to ensure that some of the barriers that exist are lifted? That is all. Thank you very much.